Morning to all of you. Welcome to today's session on the brand called you, which is brought to you by Training and Official Training and Placement Cell of School of Open Learning, University of Delhi. So today we have our guest speaker, Mr. Arun Pandit, with us. I'm highly grateful to our committee members, the student members, alongside our mentors for the committee, Dr. Reema Theresa, Dr. Ashwarya, and Mr. Dr. Tanu as well, and parallelly all the student members who are putting their day in and day out for the session and all the activities which we organize for the students. The committee has been recently formed, and earlier we had hosted a successful resume building webinar earlier, and we are coming up with many new activities and other sessions and the plannings which we have already undertaken for you. So please stay and bear with us. So we will be coming up and back with so many other activities and the plannings which we have done for you. Coming on to today's agenda. So we are organizing this webinar, 1 hour webinar with Mr. Arun Pandit. He's a co-founder of Hyphen SCS and the brand called you, the title for the session, where we will be uncovering how to build a successful personal brand, parallelly the how to stand out your successful LinkedIn profile, and what are the nitty-gritties of entrepreneurship from his long entrepreneurial career and the attributables which he has built in his own career. And parallelly, how a successful career is built and how you can rise in your professional ladder with the personal branding and the other things like how to find the right opportunities and make the best out of it. Coming on to inviting our guest speaker finally. So, Mr. Arun Pandit is co-founder of Hyphen SCS. He's currently building India's biggest warehousing and fulfillment platform. He's one of the youngest member of FICCI National Committee for the logistics as well, which has drafted India's first national logistics policy. And parallelly, the Hyphen SCS has been your story tech 30 under 30 startup as well. So they have won these accolades. And they are similar like Mr. Arun Pandit. He has also delivered lectures at IIM Bangalore, Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, and similar other reputable institutes. He also worked with in Pan India across multiple sales and marketing roles with organizations like TrucksApp, RPG Group, C8, PayUmoney, and Blackbuck. So this was your host for the session today. I'm Yash, President of Training and Placement Cell School of Open Learning, University of Delhi. So formally, Mr. Arun, I welcome you for today's session, and you can take the lead in the stage and start the session. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Yash. Thank you for the warm welcome. Just wanted to understand, I wanted to show a presentation. So just, do you need to give me access to that? Because the share button is currently muted.
Let me check, sir.
And in the meantime, I would request everyone, because what we'll do, since we'll be working on trying to build a better professional personal brand in the professional context, I would request everyone to probably have their laptop open, and we'll be also doing some, you can say, real-time exercises, some smaller exercises which can be done real time considering the time constraint that we have, and that will help you better understand the overall context of a personal brand. And specifically, we all are professionals, and being professional, we need to build a professional personal brand over LinkedIn, because this is, you can say, the key area, or you can say the key platform where we can get different kind of opportunities, whether it's with respect to job, whether it's with respect to collaborations, whether it's with respect to funding and other stuff. So I'll primarily focus on LinkedIn as a medium, which is there, but I'll like, as the agenda was set with respect to this discussion, we will cover multiple other points which are related to the overall, you can say, improvement of an individual. And I'll try to give you some of the tips and tricks, or you can say some of the guardrails, which unfortunately I didn't have when I was a student. And if you at least start working on those particular points, then I'm pretty sure that over a period of time you will evolve into a much better professional, and most importantly, you'll be able to put yourself in the best light. You'll be able to sell yourself in a proper manner. I think I've got the access. Just allow me a second, please. Yash, is it visible? Yash, or the team? Is the
Yes,
presentation
it's
visible?
it's visible. It's visible.
And I hope only the presentation is visible and not the screen.
So the screen is visible. You can set it into the presentation mode so that the only screen for the presentation is visible.
Now, is it okay?
Yes, sir. Perfect.
Okay, cool. Since I will not be able to see you, I would request if anyone has got any query, any question, feel free to intervene in between. And in case the slides are not working, just let me know. Cool.
Sure, sir. We are good to go.
So I'm sorry, I would request at least when I ask some questions, or at least when I ask people whether it's working or not, so someone to respond so that I get a hang of it. Otherwise, it becomes a little too monotonous, not even seeing you guys and just putting on the presentation. So guys, this would be somewhere to a 1 hour kind of session in which I'll try to cover some of the very basics of building a personal brand. And the title of this, you can say webinar or small workshop, is called The Brand Called You. So like Yash already told, I'm the co-founder at Hyphen SCS, and at Hyphen SCS, we're building India's biggest warehousing and fulfillment platform. We've got about 42,000 warehouses spread across 180 cities, amassing a total area of around 880 million square feet. We intend to bring the entire 1 million warehouses on a single platform. And with God's, I'm a pass out of IIFT Delhi 2010-12. So I've been an MBA student earlier and was the ECL coordinator there, won around 35 competitions, was the finalist of 35 competitions, won around 18, represented India in USA at the Rice Business Plan competition, which is the world's biggest and the richest B plan competition for students. So across my experience of presenting, you can say in multiple competitions in and around India, and also while interacting with different people, when I was in IFT, one of the key things that I received from my senior was that the purpose of joining IFT, or you know what is the main benefit of joining IFT? It is the network. You have got 150 students in your batch. You've got 150 students who are senior to you, and you've got 150 students who are junior to you. So typically, if you're able to build a good network, you know 450 people who are, if you're from any good college, you will be going to be in some good position in the future. So that network is very important. So the famous cliche which is there, which is called your network is your net worth, is not just a cliche, it is very, very critical. Just to set context, for example, I met Yash through LinkedIn. I think he reached out to me through LinkedIn 1 or 2 years back. Then he came and met me. Then we delivered a guest lecture for his for a particular NGO. So the multiple opportunities are got through LinkedIn and other such platforms, and that will only happen if you have got a strong personal brand. See, in today's world, whether you are doing MBA, whether you're doing engineering, whether you are into finance, what happens is earlier what happened was that during, say, the time when our parents were working, at that particular point of time, the whole context was more towards that you have to work hard. आपको मेहनत करनी है, आपको मेहनत करोगे तो फल पाओगे. Simply said. So technically, the whole you can say paradigm, or you can say the definition of success revolved around working hard. Then came a time when people said that, okay, जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. So you need to market it well, whether or not it is very good, but you should have the ability to market it well. If you are able to market it well, then it will sell and you can grow in your career. Then the current state of, you can say, success, so-called success, which we define normally, publicly, or you can set as a society based realm, is that okay, today's world, you have to work hard also, and you should be able to promote yourself also, you should be able to sell yourself also. So it's, if you are still, you're just working hard and you're not able to create a brand, and you're not able to basically market yourself, then also you are at a disadvantage. If you think that you are able to market yourself and you do not have any substance, and you're not being able to, you can say, bring in results, then also it will not last. So today's world is a cutthroat world in which you have to work hard also, you have to need to have the skill sets also, plus you need the ability to market yourself. So the whole purpose of this small webinar is more directed more towards bringing you can say building a brand which is called you, so creating a personal brand. So I'll quickly move into the agenda. So first, there'll be quick introduction. Then I'll be basically touching upon, you can say, 5-6 key points, right? Starting from the email etiquettes, because a personal brand email is one of, you can say, one of the most important touch point as a professional in which you engage and interact with different people. So we'll discuss about email etiquettes. I'll talk about some tips and tricks which are there, which you can inculcate right from the beginning, and over a period of time you can reform and make it much better. Then the importance of communication, which is there. Then we'll touch upon LinkedIn as a platform which is very, very critical for building a brand. Then we'll talk about e-learning, we'll talk about reading, and we'll talk about membership. So this whole session is mostly towards giving you some cues, some you can say guardrails, some guidelines, some of the areas where you need to work. It gives you some pointers. Now it's totally dependent upon you how you utilize it and help in creating a better brand. So now, when you talk about brand, the first thing is uh, what is a brand? So typically, if you say that you go to a particular kirana store and you get say sugar or rice, a sugar probably say 50 rupees kgs, and then there'll be a packed sugar which will probably be 60-65 rupees per kg. You might not find much difference in it, but people are willing to pay a price for it. So basically, what brand does is brand creates credibility, specifically with respect to the realm of professional things. Today's network, today's you can say culture is that you probably say you'll have hundreds and thousands of followers across your social media profiles, but you'll not be knowing them personally. So there's a quotation which calls that perception trails reality. That means if you're able to build a good perception, that perception is event, and you have to work on it also, you have to deliver also. But if you're able to build a good perception, that perception eventually turns into reality. Some a very crude version of it is fake it till you make it, but the better or the more refined version is you have to create a perception, and that perception is created across your network, because most of these people you're not engaging at a personal level, so you are engaging through your platform and the kind of work you are doing. So you need to create a particular brand for yourself. By creating a brand, for example, some of you might be supply chain professionals, some of you might have an interest in finance, some of you might be inclined towards product or sales or marketing. So when any person sees your profile or goes through your profile, the first thing that comes into the mind is, for example, typically when we get a CV, when we skim through that particular CV, there is an imagery that is created about that particular person. That okay, this person looks like he's a sales kind of person, he's a finance kind of person, he's a lazy kind of person. So overall, there's a perception, that is the imagery that comes out of probably looking at a CV or looking at your profile or looking at the kind of work you do. So the difference between a commodity and brand is something which brings in credibility. Brand is something which brings in trust. Brand is something which brings in a certain standard, minimum expected standards which are there. So you need to decide, there are thousands and lakhs of students which are there, and how do you stand out from them? Typically when we go to a particular college, we see there are 100 CVs and in the same batch, and if you look at those CVs, what you'll find is that if you change the name and the you can say number of marks they have got, or probably the father and mother's name, you will see most of the CVs are like dicto Xerox copy of all each and every. How do you differentiate? How do you get the right set of people out of thousands of people who are trying to be the same which are there? So creating a brand becomes very, very critical. And for creating a brand, and the world today is moving at a very fast pace. The cycle for technology development is happening very fast. So by re-up, we means that we have to regularly upgrade ourselves which are there. Probably 5-10 years down the 10 years before that, probably a lot of the mediums which were there are now obsolete. And with every passing year, the cycle for technology upgradation and the mediums have changed. Initially, what started as Yahoo Mail went to Gmail, Yahoo got obsolete. Then there was Orkut, then Orkut, Facebook, now Facebook to Instagram. Now Facebook is also facing the brunt. So eventually platforms will evolve. So you have to continuously evolve according to the target audience. That means the people who are important to you. You need to see where these people are and where do you need to create a brand. In our particular case, for students like us, we the you can say at least we know that LinkedIn is it's a short medium where we can help build that brand, and it will stand to exist in the coming years. This particular session is more directional in nature, and in the sense that I'll be giving you some suggestions, some workable action points which you can do, and then you have to build upon that. And we'll focus on the basics, and what we'll try to do is we'll probably give you a roadmap. Okay, these are the things that need to be done, and how do you do it? But the eventual hard work comes from your side. I'll also talk about some actionable tools. Some of these tools you'll know, and some of the steps which are required in order to create a better impression or a better perception. I would request, if anyone has got any question, you can please feel free to ask. There's a popular saying that by asking a question, you can be a fool for a minute, but if you don't ask, you can be probably a fool for a life. So the point is, if you do not understand anything, feel free to ask. Please feel to intervene. In case there is a paucity of time, I can also connect probably tomorrow, and people can reach out to me, and I can discuss at length the question that they have. Uh, since I'm unable to see you, I'm feeling very monotonous. But anyways, due to the lack of, you can say, engagement that can happen over an online medium, I'll try to manage. And the other thing is, what's your signature? Basically, there's a difference between a signature and autograph. So one thing that I continuously say is that there is a signature and there's an autograph. So the autograph is something similar to signature. You can compare to commodity, and an autograph you can compare to a brand. So an autograph has a value because it comes with a trust, credibility. It can be sold at a premium. A signature you can sign anywhere, so it can be a commodity. Earlier I said that at a current juncture, in the previous decades, working hard was considered to be the most important criteria. Then eventually it evolved into being able to sell better, and now it is that you have to work hard. Today is a scenario where you have to work hard and you have to promote harder. So working hard is, there is no substitute for working hard. You have to create the basic skill set and achievements which are required, but you need to ensure that you are able to promote it harder. Whether you are in the finance domain, you are in the IT domain, it's not that this is just limited to people in sales and marketing. The other thing is the power of habit. So primarily, excellence is not an act. So I regularly say that the way you do anything, you do everything. So anything that you do, if you are able to compromise on a particular quality or the integrity of that particular work, it becomes your habit. It becomes your habit. And typically I have not seen people who are excellent in something and they are very lazy or lackluster in most of the other things. The person who has got a habit of excellence, who tried to do, I'm not saying that he may or might not excel in that particular field, but they will try to do whatever best is available there. So that is what is critical. So excellence is not an act. So just remember, whatever you do, whatever, even if it's a small email that you send or a small communication over WhatsApp or LinkedIn, everything that you do is basically your DNA. It is basically your signature. So you need to show that the quality of work that you do, whether it's a signature or it's an autograph, whether you are a commodity or you are a brand. So uh, if you have some topics on which you want to discuss at length, like I already said, we can probably connect sometime later. We'll talk about some of the relevant social media networks. We'll talk about securing handles for them, the importance of it. We'll talk about some memberships, papers and patents, and the power of competitions, and specifically testimonials. So I'll try to cover whatever we can in the small duration of time. In between, if anyone has got a question, please feel free to ask. Hello? Hello? Yash, am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir. I'm saying कि we have opened the entries for the doubts to students. Okay, so students will be sending the doubts through chats. So if we get anything, we will be interrupting you and conveying you their message, because the thing is, in the meeting the students are mute and put the video is disabled. So by the end we have a 10 minutes of session. So after you take your next 30 minutes, so we have a doubt session for next 5 to 10 minutes. So their student will be asking the question. So either we will unmute them or they can continue their entries by the chat.
Cool. So we'll talk about the basic email etiquette. Some of the things are spelling and subject. So I have seen multiple time people putting in the wrong set of spellings which are there specifically in the name of the companies or the individual, and the subject line is very weird. So we'll talk about a tool which helps you craft better, you can say, subject lines which are there, which have got opportunity to the possibility of better open rate. The use of you can say tools like the autocorrect in Gmail and Grammarly, and there are multiple other tools which can be integrated directly to your email suite is very critical, because multiple times what this tool does is it helps you a reminder on the commonly made mistakes that you have done. It helps you improve your narrative, and at first it might seem a little more much better than what your original capability is, but once you repeatedly do that, that particular you can say phrases or the language or the vocabulary or the lexicon becomes a part of your day-to-day usage. So using those things on a regular basis gives you the difference between the Gmail autocorrect and probably Grammarly would be that Grammarly if you have that paid account, or even if you have a free account, gives you insights about the commonly made mistakes. So what it does is it gives you data, and that data tells you these are the mistakes that you commonly make, and you can work upon it and make it better. The other thing we'll talk about is email signature. What happens is that we typically see email signature in which you have got a name which is there, and it talks about the company address and some of the social media handles. What I personally believe is that one key differentiator that can happen over as a small thing as an email is your email signature. You can probably have an email with your photograph, a professional led photographs, which creates a better impact. It creates a name to face kind of thing in which the email signature becomes more human, and the possibility of creating a recall becomes much higher. There's a lot of you can say people around, thousands of mails going there. You need to distinguish yourself, and that happens to that. We'll talk about headline analyzer. So there are tools such as headline analyzer, which helps in you can say giving a score about the headline of a particular email. For example, you reach out to a particular person for say placement, you reach out to a particular person or organization for internship, you reach out to a particular individual for mentorship. So all of these small things matter, because what happens is, like I said earlier, the way you do anything, you do everything. If you reach out to senior folks, they will, right from your subject line to the how you have written the body and everything, they will be able to understand or gauge the kind of level that you have, and that is how they will perceive you and eventually bother to respond or not respond to you, or the kind of attention that they want to give you. So you need to be very crisp with respect to all of these things. Uh, so, and the other thing is getting a personalized email. So Google offers you should I would rather suggest that everyone invests in their own domain name. For example, mine is arunpandit.com, and I've created a personalized email called ap@arunpandit.com. So what it does is multiple times I share whenever I need to share the content, or I share it through that particular email ID. What it does is, first of all, uh, since I cannot conduct a survey right here, and this is an online kind of medium, if even if you've got 1,000 people say enrolled in a particular course, probably barely 3, 4, 5, even not even 1% would have that their own personal website which is there and their personal email ID. So what it does is automatically catches the eye of the other person that okay, this person has done something extra. The site might not be the best of the best, or the email ID is still okay, but it shows that the person wants to break from the clutter and get into a higher league. So that differentiates, that there are small things, right from your personalized email to your dom you can say personalized website. It helps a lot. This is a non-profit that I used to do. This was an email signature which was there. So email signatures you can make through, there are multiple tools which are available in which through which you can create free email subjects. You get a photograph, you talk about what you do, some of your key recognition, your social media handles, if you have got a particular tagline, your websites, etc. So what it does is it creates a minor impact in the subconscious mind. So if a person who is sharing a normal signature and a person who is saying a more sophisticated, a better looking signature creates a more impact. So whenever there is a option for choice, since there's a lot of competition for everything in the country, then the possibility of you getting an edge over them becomes higher. And you might say that email signature is such a small thing, but this small things in totality matter. So when we send it through you can say through Hyphen SCS, the organization of which I am the co-founder, then what we are trying to do is, since we are an early stage startup and we are trying to build a brand in warehousing. And warehousing or B2B segment is not considered to be a very glamorous segment. People are less aware of it. So what we're trying to do is, in order to create a subtle impression, or you can say create confidence and credibility, we, with our email signature, we are putting in the photographs, we're putting in all other stuff, which creates the name to face thing. But after that, you're also putting in the, you can say, the key recognitions which are there. So a lot of the people, when they see this recognition, they build a perception that since they have been recognized across multiple bigger platforms, they should be good, or the possibility of them being good is better. So for every place there is someone, so there is other competitors also there, so it gives you an edge. It gives you an edge both with respect to probably getting a meeting, to closing a deal, to seeing you in the right light. So perception is very, very critical, and all of these small things eventually add up to create a better one. Now we'll talk about the communication part of it. So I really like this proverb which says that until the lion tells his side of story, the tale of the hunt will always be glorified. What I've seen across campuses, across classes, that there are a lot of people who are probably very good with respect to skill set, but they are unable to communicate themselves, or they are unable to express themselves due to maybe lack of confidence. Maybe they do not know how to do it. Maybe it's not in their nature to talk about themselves. But like I've already said, the thing is, today, in today's world, if you're not speaking out, if you're not talking about your skill set, the good that you are doing, then you are putting yourself in a less optimum position as compared to doing it. So even if you are introvert in nature, try to, at least whatever good work you do, you try to promote across your social media handles. Let people know. People should have a perception. For example, a particular person wants to be good in, say, finance. So his theme, his profile, his LinkedIn profile, the kind of content he posts, the kind of things he do should reflect to that. So at an overall level, when person goes through or skims through a profile, they will say that, okay, ye finance ka banda hai, ye sales ka banda hai, ye product ka banda hai. So that kind of, you can say, imagery should be there. One should be very careful of being a jack of all trades. You need to be very careful about choosing what. See, building a brand comes secondary. First of all, you need to understand what is the brand that you want to build. What is the thing for which you want to be known for. So you build your own creative, the content you post, the certifications you do accordingly, so that you become a good in a certain niche, certain category, and that will help you. Being a jack of all trades in certain scenarios do help, but at an overall level, most of the people needs to be at least an expert in a few and good at others. What and This particular slide is more about people who are little, you can say, hesitant of speaking, who are introvert in nature, who are good but are unable to, you can say, sell them properly. First of all, I know it is difficult. Selling is a difficult task, but first of all, you need to be natural. In case, since you have not done it, since natural in the sense that whatever you want to speak is what you feel. Uh, the thing is that since you are not very good at it for XYZ reason, you need to prepare for it, because it doesn't come naturally to you. So being natural means whatever nature you have, whatever points you want to say, or how you want to talk about it, be that. You do not need to be superficial in that. But speaking about it doesn't come naturally to you, so you have to prepare for it. For some people are natural. So some people ask, for example, the likes of Yash and other people, they are natural, which are there. But other people need to purposely work on building themselves. Speak less, that is okay. You might be limited, but whenever you speak, you should speak good content, relevant contents. Speaking more is not, you can say, reflection of you being good or better. Speaking relevant, speaking crisp is important. And the most important thing is, even whenever you should speak, the other person should listen. So you might speak 10% in a particular conversation, but when you speak, the content should be crisp. It should not be generic gibberish. And when you speak at that particular time, other people should not disturb. So your voice should also command that kind of, you can say, power, that others people do not overrun you. Communication is critical. There are a lot of platforms which are already available there. Duolingo, I used to learn Spanish from there. It's a good platform. There are multiple platforms which are there. The good thing about today's technology world is that technology gives you an ability. Technology is brought in a level playing field. So earlier I belonged to a city called Kullu Manali in Himachal Pradesh, which is popularly known for tourism and orchards, but it is not known for education and stuff. Earlier, there was a huge gap between what a student in Kullu could do and a student in Delhi or even Chandigarh can do. Now, due to the, you can say, evolution of technology, there is certain kind of level playing field in which you are able to access the similar kind of content and other platform from what, if you have the ability, if you want to, can do it. Toastmasters is an important thing. I mean, YouTube, Netflix, there are like multiple platforms. Toastmasters has got chapters across the country, across cities, which is a very good platform for people who are probably not very good speaker or hesitant of speaking, to build their communication skill from the beginning. See, if you do not speak, how will people know? Okay, and so speaking is say a compulsory, a necessary evil, even for those people who do not want to speak. So you need to speak your story, otherwise it will, the same thing will happen, that always the story of the hunter would be glorified and not of the tiger or the lion which is there, because the lion cannot speak or tell the story. The other thing is competition. So competitions are very critical, because I've been around 35 plus competitions I pre. Every competition you go, you do the research. When you present in front of the judges, you build that particular confidence. You look into other competitors which are there. You'll pick up things from them. Okay, for example, I am Calcutta. Their finance production was very good. Mica, their overall, you can say, creativity was very good. Say Irma, they had some other thing which was good. So different colleges, different team members, different participants, you get to learn a lot from them, because when you're in the finals of any competition, the best of the country or the best of the particular region accumulate there, and they have done their own hard work. So you're able to pick up the best practices from them, put it in, and in the next presentation that you put, you add on those things, and you eventually become better. So Duolingo is something which is a self-help you can do at your own pace, on a daily basis. It is based on gamification, so it creates that kind of interest also. Toastmaster is a very practical aspect, by virtue of which you are able to practice it amongst other speakers, and eventually you become better. Competition is also an indirect way of building confidence, building knowledge, and learning from the best from other people. Now we'll talk about LinkedIn, which is the core area of this discussion. We'll talk about how to create a power profile. We can review profiles in case we have time. Uh, we'll talk about the proper uses of @ and hashtag, and the network effect which is there. So initially, see, what happened was, when I joined LinkedIn probably 10, 12 years back. So I joined LinkedIn because everyone was joining the LinkedIn, and I was not very active in it. In the first 9 years, I had around 8.5 years, I had around 5,000 connects which were there. Then after getting to 5,000 connect, I started some work over LinkedIn. Then in the next 1.5 years, it reached to 10,000. So from it took me 8.5 years to reach 5,000 followers and connects. Another 10 years to reach 10,000. That means 1.5 years to reach what it took me, probably 8.5 years. And in the next 2-3 years, it's around 30,000 plus. So what happens is, when you are in a particular place in a platform and you continuously start working on it and you continuously put in efforts there, eventually you start to build that connect, the right set of tribe, and the numbers start to show the network effect. It may take some time, but if you do it consistently and you're able to provide quality content or value to the end users, then you're able to do that. We talked about create a persona part of it. Now, by creating a persona, I mean, like I said, that the person should be, we should understand, okay, this person is a finance kind of guy. This person excels in blockchain or Web3. He's a Web3 guy. So you need to understand what is the kind of persona that you want to create, and then build all the content and all your, you can say, strategies around it. You need, now the other thing is, which at an initial level, at a beginner level, you can do is you can mirror idols. For example, a person wants to be good at Web3, or so what he or she will do is probably find out 3, 4, 5 relevant people who are good at it, and try to mirror them, follow their profile, see what kind of content they are posting, try to copy that particular thing. So even if you copy from the best of the people, you are unable to understand their strategy, what works from them. These people have put in the hard work. So at an initial level, you can mirror the idols, and eventually you will get the hang of it, what works, what doesn't work, because these people have put in a lot of effort, they've got experience, they understand how their audience works and what content works, doesn't work. So this is a, you can say, easier strategy of at an initial level, till the time you're able to build expertise and trends and patterns to create your own strategies. So Another thing is with respect to try to make all of these things more visual, the quality of content. We have got tools like Canva, which are available, which helps you with pre-made templates. So it has made creating creatives very easy. Earlier, it was a big challenge. So people found it difficult to do that particular thing. Only people who are experts or are bigger influencers were able to do that. Now everyone can do it, even at a free of cost kind of mode. A lot of tools are available. And with respect to growing your network, you need to focus. For example, uh, at an initial level, I reached out to all people who were there in my school, then all people who reached out who were there in my engineering college, then all people who were there in my MBA college, then people who were there from my town. So at an initial level, you can reach out to people who have got some connect with you, either through education or through a professional network or the company that you have worked in. So the tendency of getting acceptance becomes higher. And when you have got a right set of relevant network which is there, so if you put in some content, then the power of that particular content getting more exposure becomes higher. For example, you are from a particular school, you have say 100 200 people from the particular school in your network, and when you put in a content, one of that person liked, they also have mutual connects with them. So the more mutual connects which are there in your network, it creates a more tightly knit bond, and it increases the ability of amplification of your data, because someone likes it, the other person in that network also sees it. The more people are intertwined, the possibility of getting better engagement, better visibility, better traction becomes higher. So at an initial level, I made a mistake that I used to probably send in request to anyone and everyone without even just to increase the numbers. Then I realized that the quality of the network is also very critical. Try to create network which is relevant. Either you know these people, or these are the people who have some significance in your career, in the future career. They might be heading certain organization. So the relevance should be there, instead of just you can say doing an open broadcast of accepting everyone. uh, I'm just running you through one of my profiles. So what I did was, first of all, the top part is called the you can say the this is the profile image. Try to create a professional profile image with a headshot with a smiling face. uh, you can do that particular thing. So it creates, because first of all, this image creates a kind of perception, and multiple time people put in a casual photograph, a background with a lot of, you can say, noise, a car going on, something like that. So try to create. Then today there are a lot of AI tools which help you. Even if you've got a normal picture, they'll be able to create it into a professional tool. So a lot of technology innovation has happened. Now what happens is, this is what you see when you are online for the first time. Sometimes people scroll, sometimes people don't scroll much. So you need to understand that this is the inventory that you have, and this needs to be attractive enough so that the people are able to dive deeply into what is happening. So what I've tried to do is, I've tried to, I mean, different people have got different strategies. I have tried to create an approach by virtue of which I put in the relevant keywords which are there across, which are relevant to me, so that if a person comes in, they might connect with some or the other thing. So if you look at the you can say top you can say image which is there, the header which is there, so you'll see that I've tried to put in multiple relevant things which are there, so that it creates even if the person doesn't read much, they are able to get a hang of it. Put in some visual clues, because visuals, a lot of time people will not even read, but the visual clues will probably help. For example, I was a Guinness World Record holder. I was covered on the cover of Career 360 magazine. I met the vice president. I met Princess Anne, the sister of the king of United Kingdom. So there are a lot of, or your story Tech 30. So I've tried to put in those things which people might relate, or people create a perception that, okay, if this person has done this thing, this person might be a person of good repute or a person of significance. So this is my way of doing things. Sometimes people put in a blank header, sometimes they talk about the things that they have done. You can have your own strategy, but this is a very important piece of, in marketing we call inventory. This is a space, this is a billboard for you, and you need to create a right set of billboard. So right from this header image to your profile picture needs to be good. Now you are putting in some of the key details, talking about some of the areas where you can see that there can be a possibility of either improving your perception or connects. So I have tried to sprinkle in areas right from my education, my certifications, my previous companies, and my important memberships and important award and recognition. So I've sprinkled in all the things right from what I've done, what are some of the accolades that I've achieved, some key memberships that I'm part of. So what it does is, if a person comes to my profile, and there's a probability that if a person is a member of, say, FICCI or CII or ITWA, then he or she finds a mutual connect. If there are people who have worked in my previous organization, I load share, Trucksab, Blackbug, where you see it. So there's a possibility that the chance of interaction, engagement, connect becomes higher. So what I've tried to do is, I have tried to basically sprinkle multiple keywords, so that if a person comes there, then there's a higher probability for them to getting associated with me, because there is some or the common body which is there. The other thing is, you need to see, this is the header image. You can create through Canva. There are multiple tools. You can create a simpler version. You can, depending upon your skill set, you can even create a good header image which talks about, say, finance, and then you can say that a finance enthusiast or a digital marketing enthusiast, if you do not have anything to write as of now. The other part is social selling index. I'll just stop sharing for a while. I want to quickly run you through something. So now, are you able to see this particular part, public profile URL? Are you able to see this one at
Yes,
the right
sir.
side? So see, for example, let's go. This is my profile. You'll see that my profile name is linkedin.com/in Arun Pandit. This part. Are you able to see that top side?
Right, sir.
Can I? So now, for example, we go to the profile of, say, Yash. So if you go to the profile of Yash being more of an active guy in that particular thing, you see Yash profile is Yash Tyagi 34389160. Are you able to see that? Yash, are you able to see that?
Right, sir. Right.
So what it does is, so this number is a randomly created number by LinkedIn. So it doesn't put in otherwise this profile is good, but this shows that you lack that particular knowledge of a crisp brand. It's although it's trying to create a brand, but brand needs to be in the social and they have to capture everything. So what you are able to do is, for this is a place, public profile URL. You can edit this particular thing and get your right set of ID which is there. Then in case there might be chances that this number is already, that thing is already available, but you need to probably create the next important thing. For example, if Arun Pandit was not available, I would have put in Arun Pandit Hyphen SCS or Arun Pandit SCM professional. But you should avoid using putting in the title that Arun Pandit 1 2 3 4 5 6 and whatever that number is there. The other thing is which you talk about is so this is called vanity URL. So vanity URL needs to be right. So I would request everyone to go and see what is the best available vanity URL and change it instead of putting in those numbers. Get this header image right. Get a proper profile with the bust. I mean, in this particular case, we talked about Yash. So Yash profile is also good in the image that he has put in. This is the area that I talked about. Sprinkling your current institution and your education institutes also helps, which are there. Now there's a segment called creator mode. So you need to put in the creator mode on, because it gives you better visibility of the things that you have done. Put in things in the featured segment. I'm just quickly running through. You can probably look into my profile, see what is happening, and take learnings from there. So putting in the key highlights. For example, we featured in the Forbes magazine in December issue. We are part of Your Story Tech 30 and other stuff. So put in important stuff which can create an impression. So if you don't put in the creator mode on, keep the featured thing on, and try to put in whatever achievement that you have, big, small, and start building on it. The other thing is, about section needs to be done properly. Create whatever the good things that you have done, what you're enthusiastic about. Put in ChatGPT. You will get ChatGPT has made life very, very easier. Put in all of those things together in the about segment, so that whenever someone comes, they're able to at least create a summary of what you have done. If you look into the experience side, I've tried to put in all the experience. This is a long time that I've updated most of these things but I've put in pictures and images for all the experiences which are there. So I have tried to put in the detailing. I put in the images which are there. try to put in for all the segments. What images does is you can write a lot of things, but if you put in the images, what it does is it creates credibility and it makes your profile a little vibrant also. So put in your experiences, try to give a summary of it, put in images which brings credibility that okay, they are not just saying things, the image proves a proof of truth, or it's kind of moment of truth kind of thing which is there. Education, if you look, even if you look into the education part, I've tried to say collect all the major accolades which were there, awards and honors, etc., and put in the visible clues to it. So it gives in more credibility. With respect to certifications, continuously you have to do some certification in order to create that credibility. Projects, if you have volunteered, generally there is no option for speakers, so these most of the speaker related things are put in the volunteering segment. So you need to understand there are multiple segments, there are projects which are there, you need to actively update them from the very beginning. I didn't update them on an active basis. One fine day I thought that there are a lot of things which are missing. I checked my emails 10 years back, I put in all the data which was there and put it there. But since you are at a very early stage of your career and education, if you put it and inculcate that particular habit, first of all, you understand what is required. You need whatever volunteering you do, you put in there. What are the additional projects which can make your profile better? What are the certifications which will make your profile better? Then specifically with respect to skill sets, what are the key skill sets that you have? You put in the key skill set and how many endorsement that what you got, whether it's respect to business development, strategy, in my case, entrepreneurship, and other stuff. So you are able to put in, you are able to jot down the key skills and asks for endorsements at an early stage. Like people said, fake it till you make it. You have got friends around you, you need to tell your friends that okay, I want to build my skill, I want to show an expertise in a particular skill set, can you please endorse me, can you please probably give me the recommendations which are of whatever I've done with you. So initially you need to have a kickstart, and that can be done through your, you can say, fellow peers. That can be done through people where you, the mentors who have interned you, that can be done through your professors. Ask them for the recommendations which are there. So what it does is it creates an overall credibility. Any kind of honors and awards that you have, put in there. We were the winner of the What an India Challenge, happened in January, other stuff. Put in the awards and honors. So it becomes, it not only becomes your professional profile, it becomes a summary of whatever you have done. So consider it as your page, consider it as your microsite, consider it as a reflection of you across the people. Learning additional language also helps. So I have a basic knowledge of Spanish, which is there. So you put in the multiple language, it helps. So what I'm trying to tell is that this is a very critical space, and this will be used for years to come as you grow and you evolve. So if you start working on it from the very beginning, right from the vanity URL to the image and everything, it matters. One thing that I want to tell is about the social selling index. So this is a thing called LinkedIn Sales SSI. Are you able to see that? Yes. Hello?
Yes, sir, we can see it. Yes, sir, we can see it.
So this is a very important parameter in the sense that it helps you understand how well you are improving in, say, LinkedIn, which is there. This is called a social selling index. It comes in linkedin.com/sales/SSI. You put in that link while you are logged into LinkedIn, it will show you. So it shows that I'm the top 1% in my industry. So for my industry, say supply chain sales. So I come in the top 1% in the supply chain sales industry. And this is my network SSI, social selling index. So network SSI means that, for example, if I've got 30,000 followers and connects, then I come in the top 1% of it with respect to the LinkedIn. That means out of the 30,000, top 300. Just to give you context, at least I've got 4,000, 5,000 founders in my network. So that is a pretty good score. So what they do is they segregate. So you cannot top that. You cannot be, I mean, unless until you're in a very small industry and you've got a small network. So of course, if you have got 100 people only and you maybe 50 people, 200 people who are not very relevant, then you can come in the top 1%. So where you rank in industry, where you rank in network, and the importance of good network is also there. If you do not have a good network and you, even if you rank 1%, then it is a, you can say, not a very good parameter to judge yourself. They are basically divided the whole segment into multiple. They're scoring on the basis of multiple segments, how you're able to establish a professional brand, what is the right set of people that you have reached out to, the tools you're using, are you engaging with insights, is it a one-way process, or you're also For example, in building relationship, I get 25 out of 25. Engaging with insights means that probably I'm not engaging much with other people's content. For example, people are posting, maybe I'm not giving them ample comments or remarks. So they have divided the whole segment, and some of these are, so you are able to understand which are the areas we are weak at, which are the areas we are strong at. See, for example, in my industry, the average SSI is 30. So mine is 71. In the people in my network, the average SSI is 38. Mine is say 71. So it is you can say an analytical way, an analytical virtue by virtue of which you are able to you can say analyze that your efforts, you are seeing improvement in those things, both your you can say SSI score and also your network score and your industry score. So both of these things would basically help. Now, so see, in the interest of time, I have to push through things. So, but my whole purpose, like I've said, was more towards, are you able to see the presentation? Yes.
Yes, we can see, sir. Yeah, fine.
So you can get into social selling index. So you can see what is your score right now, just measure it, start making improvements in your profile, start putting in content and see how it improves. So it gives you some parameter to judge how you are. Of course, you will get to know over a period of time, but this helps you quantify those things. So I'm not getting into the definition of it. You have to search your demographics. For example, in my complete list of people that are there, so say 7% of my entire network is constitutes of founders and co-founders, or 1.3 CEOs. So say typically 10% of these people are like the top CXO level people which are there. So you need to understand the demographics. You need to understand the seniority, because the quality of network also matter. So a lot of time people what they do is probably they'll, of course you have to have a network of all kind of people which are there, but you need to understand the quality of network is also important, because the quality of network would give you that quality results. You can be you can say, हम कहते हैं ना अपना कुएं का मेंढक, तो कुएं का मेंढक होना या फिर अंधों में खाना राजा होना नहीं है. So we need to understand that we have to improve the quality also. I shared you a link in the beginning of the chat, which said that this is a tool called Linktree. So I have put in some of my various social handles, my website, and other stuff here. So what it does is, so when I've shared it with you, first of all, you might be in different platforms, you might be active in different platforms. So what it does is, it creates an impression that okay, there's a consolidated list of social handles or social places which are available, and people can reach out to you. So what it does is creates an impression, it creates a perception, it highlights you amongst other people, and it becomes an easier tool to connect also. So like I shared this link over the chat, that if someone wants to connect, they can connect through whatever medium that they do. So these are small things: an email signature, a header image, your own domain name, your own domain name's email, personalized email ID. Say I do a mail from Arun Pandit 1736@gmail.com, that will have a different impact as compared to ap@arunpandit.com. These small things eventually add up and create a better impression and differentiate you from the different people. I'll quickly, first of all, invest in learning. Investing in learning is very critical. Do certification, do paid certification, do courses. It is very critical, because not just for the CV purpose. The thing is that you want to build expertise, and once you do those things, you are able to learn. A lot of time we do not invest much in learning apart from getting the qualification or degree which is there, but you need to continuously improve. So I have done 31 certification. I continue to do certification, whatever new that I want to learn, because that helps me improve. So it should be a consistent part of it. It is not for getting a job or getting other things. It should be a part of your, you can say, personal routine. It's not just professional, personal routine, that learning should be there. But you need to be clear, what do you want to do. So you need to be very specific. There are 2-3 things which I am interested on, and these are things which I want to build upon. And some of these things will help you in your personal aspects. So I run a motivational community called Don't Give Up World. So some of these things I do because that gives me a personal happiness, that I'm able to spread the word of hope and optimism. So it gives me a different kind of happiness. Some of these things I do at a professional level, which is more inclined towards supply chain, sales, and marketing kind of thing, which gives me a different kind of kick. So you need to understand what you want to learn, whether it's for the personal gratification or a professional uplifting. The other thing is, a lot of time what people do, they do certifications. Of course, apart not doing something and doing something, it's better, but the quality of certification, the credibility of certification is also important. With the advent of corona, digital learning evolved, and everyone started to do dozens and hundreds of certifications which are there. Some of these certifications were of value, some of these certifications not value. Since everyone is doing those certifications, then probably every CV will see similar certifications. So you need to understand there are certifications that you, yeah, of course you should do, and those certifications, but there are some credible certification. Probably there are more paid certifications which have got better recognition as compared to the typical Coursera's and edX of the world. They are also okay, but you need to understand what kind of certification you do and which holds better credibility as compared to the other certifications which are there. Live projects are very critical. I mean, live projects gives you, you can say, hands-on insight of what is happening. It bridges the gap between theory and practical. There are a lot of gaps, both with respect to the knowledge, implementation of knowledge, expectation, timing. There's a big, you can say, gap as compared to what you think will happen and what happens. So live project is a amalgam of you can say your skill sets, and most importantly the human angle of things, getting things done, timeline, deadline, what happens, what is theoretically supposed to be right, what is practically right. There are other stuffs. Popular platforms, you already know there are a lot of certifications from Google, Upgrad, Udemy, you can do it. But I would also suggest that you go for, if you're into finance, so you do CFA, you can do CFA, you can do FRM and other stuff. Similarly, if you are in supply chain, then there's an ISCM, Institute of Supply Chain Management, their certification, CSCP Pro, etc., which are there. So these popular platforms gives you basic certifications which are there. Then you go into industry specific certification which are recognized across the world as more of as a qualification as compared to a learning thing. So you should also try to shortlist these you can say paid certification if your financial condition permitted. Otherwise, doing through popular platform is also good. Multiple platforms are there, mentorship platform which will help you improve your skills and get into touch with relevant people in that particular domain. What happens is, a lot of time people say that I want to become an engineer because everyone is becoming an engineer because it is in trend. What these platforms like, say for example Navkiran or Expertrons, what they do is they connect you with the people who are doing that particular thing. So you say that I want to be a, say, blockchain developer, but what do you know about blockchain development? Or you say that I want to become a product manager, something like that. Then what do you know about product management? What happens in product management? So what it does is it at a fraction of cost helps you connect with the relevant people who are doing that particular thing. So they'll be able to guide you that, okay, in this particular field, this is the skill set is required. This is what is the perceived reality. This is what practically happens. These are the challenges. These are the exciting part. So you're able to take better decisions with respect to what is the career that you want to pursue, instead of just reading through some, you can say, articles or going through some videos and maybe getting inspired by a particular person, because you do not know the complete hang of things. So it is always better either through LinkedIn, you reach out to people, ask them for advice, that the people that you want to mirror, the ideas that you want to mirror, or you, in case you're unable to get someone, get a hold of someone, you can get into the platforms like Navkiran, Expertrons, etc. Basic thing, MS Excel, SPSS, Six Sigma, digital marketing, a foreign language, content creation, business communication. These are like generic things which are required everywhere. You should, this is like, even if you're in any kind of field, it helps. So learning these things can be a basic default hygiene thing which are there, and then you can be very specific about the trade that you do. I think I'll just quickly wrap up in some minutes. So the other thing is allocate habit for reading. Reading is very critical, and reading will remain critical irrespective of how technology evolves. You might read through a book, you might read through an online article, or you might read through a Kindle, but reading is something which will always be there irrespective of how the technology is involved. And reading is what makes your, first of all, it increases your knowledge. Secondly, it improves your English. It both the writing skill and the reading skill, it brings in knowledge, brings in confidence. So it is one habit that helps, even if you read 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but put it in your daily routine. News, similarly with respect to newspaper, books, you need to understand, you identify your interest and get deep into those particular books. You can probably start with a short book. Some of the people, a lot of people that I've mentored, have never read any book, so I generally give them a book called The Velveteen Rabbit. So The Velveteen Rabbit is a book which is probably 20-25 pages. You can probably read it in 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Start with short books. So what short books does is it gives you confidence. मैंने एक book पढ़ लिया, फिर उसके बाद उससे थोड़ा सा बड़ा पढ़ा, फिर उससे थोड़ा सा बड़ा पढ़ा. But put it in your habit. I mean, reading is like paramount. Any good person, any successful person, you'll see this is something which is there in their particular habit. So either they are avid reader, or they meet they have got a constant interaction with senior people, so they interact and engage experiences with them. So basically this is very critical in your thing. A lot of time people say that I travel to a particular place from my office to college, it's difficult to read books, and there are audio books which are available, video books which are there, available. I used to travel a lot, so I made it a point that uh, uh, I downloaded TED Talks. I used to see 2-3 TED Talks on one way, 2-3 TED Talks while coming back. Some of the key books which you can start with is Winning by Jack Welch. You Can Win probably is a cliche. 1 Minute Manager, 0 to 1 when you come about startups. Leadership, you can talk about Start With Why. So there's some of the authors and people which are like good starting reference point for their. I generally recommend Winning for early professionals, because it talks about how it is more professional in nature. It talks about your career and how it will evolve and what are the challenges that you can face in a corporate environment. Membership, live projects, internships, like I said, it gives, try to do as many live projects which are there. Some of them, these projects might not be as good as you feel. It would require a lot of bulk lifting, because a lot of time we see that, okay, we want to only do the critical work because we feel that, okay, for example, you pass out from MBA, I want to be a brand manager, but what do you know about brand? What do you know about sales? What do you know about your target audience? So a lot of this work is not a glamorous kind of work. When I joined from IFT to see it, for 2 months I was at a Dharamkanta. Dharamkanta is a place where you weigh trucks, the weight of goods which are there. And I used to check each and every single tire, what is their make, what are the defects in them, and other stuff. So unless and until you get into the depth of it, in our popular parlance, we say that जब तक आप जमीन के अंदर घुसोगे नहीं, ग्राउंड लेवल पे नहीं जाओगे ना, आप नहीं सीखोगे. एंड 80% of the work which anyone does, and specifically to majority part of the career, is the heavy lifting. वो कोई ग्लैमरस वर्क नहीं होता है कि यार बहुत हाई फाई, बहुत स्ट्रेटेजी बन रहा है, कुछ बन रहा है. 80% is the bread and butter that you need to do. Maybe 10-20%. As the more senior you become, the percentage of critical tasks, the percentage increases. But when you are junior, probably 90-95% is heavy lifting work. Then eventually, as you become senior, that will decrease, and the critical work or the more strategic work starts to increase. So live projects and internships help in that. You can take membership of, you can say, organization like EMA, YLC. You get exposed to speakers, mentors through them, because a lot of time people will not, you can say, connect with you, but since they are mentors in this organization, through that particular reference, you'll be able to do that. NEN, Jagati Yatra, Global Youth Community, a lot of other things. These are some of the names that top of the mind came into my mind. But be associated with some of the other bodies also, because that gives you exposure, that gives you creates your brand credibility, also gives you exposure, learning, and helps you create an overall good profile. I'll come to the extract, the nichod part of it, which I call. So, see, often it is said that there is a quote called "survival of the fittest." People say that it was the part of theory of, you can say, evolution by Charles Darwin, but Charles Darwin never said that. So it survived. Charles Darwin said that the person or the community or the species who is most, you can say, who changes rapidly to the environment is the one who survives. There was never a thing called survival of the fittest. It is basically who is more adapt to change, who is able to adapt to change faster will survive. Similarly, like I've told you earlier, things are evolving. You need to change. I need to change according to the particular environment. Network is net worth. I told you about the IFT example. The other thing is baptism by fire. See, what I've seen is specifically with younger students these days. So everyone has a feeling of entitlement, because their parents have probably put them in some kind of a decent place. They do not have that kind of pressure. So everyone says that I want to do great work only without doing the uncomfortable work, or without even truly evaluating themselves. So see, you have to stretch. You have to move beyond your comfort zone. There is no way of it. हम in what I popularly call, हमें खून जलाना पड़ता है. अगर आप खून नहीं जलाओगे ना, तो कुछ नहीं होगा. खून जलाना ही जलाना है. The other thing which is very relevant for you is, see, performance comes better than pedigree. Now you will say that, sir, आप तो IFT से हो, कोई IM से है, कोई ये है, तो उनको तो pedigree अच्छा है. So they have got a better chances of it. See, pedigree helps you get in the gate. And if the people have reached that particular college, they have done some hard work, and they're at a particular level that they have reached there. Now the only place for people who probably do not come from that good a pedigree is performance. So now you do not have any other option. You cannot bank up on pedigree. It's performance. And eventually, I'll tell you, I've got a lot of people which are there who do not have any pedigree, but they're the best of the performers because they continuously performed and outperformed the other people. The other common misconception is that if a person has got a lot of multiple years of experience, then he is good or better or something like that. Today's world, performance is valued more than pedigree. But pedigree helps you get into that particular gate, and having a pedigree doesn't mean that the person is not working hard. So a lot of time people say, अरे वो आईटी का बंदा है तो उसको मिल गया. अरे मिल गया नहीं, वो पहले आईटी में पहुंचा, उसके जो बाकी लोग नहीं पहुंच पाए, उसके बाद उसको पहुंचने के बाद उसको एंट्री मिली, वहां पर भी उसने अच्छा किया, तभी वो आगे गया. No, there are no free lunches. So pedigree is important, but eventually pedigree is not the only thing. And if you do not have the pedigree, but you are consistently able to perform, you are able to grow above it. Years of experience is important, but most important right now is value that is added. Startups, corporates, they are there for decades. Startups are, a lot of these startups are creating more value in probably 1/10 the time that they created it. Internal stakeholders, empathy is very important. A lot of time in the hush of success and achieving targets, we become, you can say, probably very demanding, and we are unable to understand a lot of, you can say, other issues that a person can be there. So always show respect and empathy to people, senior, junior, and everyone. Personal brand, we have talked about. You see, you cannot build a reputation on what you are going to do, but the perception that you are building over a particular period of time with your hard work, the perception tells to reality. So perception will eventually tells to reality if you continue to do the work. Humor helps. Try to add in some humor, since this was a one-to-one discussion which is happening. So it was not the most engaging discussion that I had, and it was very boring for me also. But if we had a personal engagement happening in a particular conference, that would have a different thing and humor which is there. But always certain subtle humor always helps. Other thing is, don't bluff anywhere. Wherever you go, don't bluff. If you don't know, say no, I do not know the answer. I've seen multiple good people who have been very great, but in order to just probably make it or fake it, they bluffed things, and then the entire good work that they've done collapsed. So be very careful. See, credibility is utmost important. Integrity is utmost important. And even if you say wrong with, but your integrity is intact, that will, in that particular thing or other case, will take you harder. And consistency, discipline, you would have seen a lot of memes, 99.9%, 1.01%. Do you understand the math? So consistency, dedication, all top players, you'll talk about the Kobe Bryants of the world in basketball or Michael Phelps in swimming. Every single day, whatever they put in the routine, they do it religiously every single day, no offs. So that is how greatness is achieved. And other thing that I already talk, work hard, but promote harder. This is an age where you cannot be, you can say, weak in any of those things. You have to work hard also. You need to have the skill set, and you need to be able to promote it also. तो जो दिखता है वो बिकता है, लेकिन उसके में जो दिखा रहे हो वो भी अच्छा होना चाहिए. तो अभी काम भी बहुत करना है और उसको अच्छे से प्रमोट भी करना है ताकि आपका एक ब्रांड बिल्ड होते रहे. And last thing, this is a famous quote that I like from the movie Kung Fu Panda, which says that if when the student is ready, the master will appear. So आप बोलोगे मेरे को ये नहीं है, मेरे को कहाँ से सीखूं, क्या करूं, ये सब चीजें. Today's world, it is far easier to get it done. So if you are really want to build yourself and grow, you will knock at 10 100 people. Someone or the other would help you, but for sure you need to be very passionate and obsessive about what you want to do, what you want to achieve. And I am pretty sure, like it is said, when the student is ready, the master will appear. My final thing, so let the blessed of us help the rest of us until the rest of us become the blessed of us. These are my handles. I have also already shared the LinkedIn. If you want any kind of other things, you can probably block my time and we can discuss more about it, which is there. That's all from my side. I'm sorry, I think I overshooted the time, but there were a lot of things to cover. Once again, like I've said, this is more to give you directions and pointers. Due to the paucity of time, I didn't have the time to deep dive on all of these things, but I hope it gives you some kind of structure, some kind of frame of reference on how to evolve as an individual and build your personal brand. That's it from my side.
Indeed, sir. We are really grateful to your lovely insights on be it personal branding or the importance of LinkedIn and a perfect professional profile, and be it being the part of various cohorts which will act as a flow of water and making you more opportunist. So these are certain insights which we have got from today's discussion. So currently moving on to the next 3-4 minutes for the doubt session, a quick doubt session. If anyone has any question, can you please show the reaction of raising hands so that I will either make you unmute or you can ask it in the chat box, whatever suits you the best. If you have any question, raise your hand and then either I will unmute you or you can type your queries in the chat box, whatever suits you. We have only next 3-4 minutes. Until the question from the students comes, I have one personal question which somehow also came from the form entries which we received from the students. So students has most commonly asked that we as MBA students, how can we relate our learnings of MBA with the attributables of entrepreneurship and make the best out of it so that we can also grow in our entrepreneurial career, or if we want to start any startup, so that we can also work into that as well. So how MBA can help us?
See, what MBA does is MBA creates an you can say perception that okay, since these people are MBA, then they are in a better position to have an overall view of the entire gamut of things which are required to run an organization. So what it does is it puts you psychologically from your context also and from the context of the investors that they are in a better position to do that. So, but the whole thing is, see, getting entrepreneurship is not for the faint-hearted people. It looks very glamorous up front, but it requires lot of efforts, blood, sweat, and tears on a regular basis for years before you become an overnight success. So, with respect to entrepreneurship, what I do is MBA gives you an overview. MBA helps you build networks. You have a grasp of finance, you have grasp of sales, marketing. So you get a hang of multiple things which other people are not aware of in a more, you can say, structured manner. Sales marketing सबको पता होगा, sales ऐसे कर देंगे वैसे कर देंगे, but since you have studied it, you have got some formal education regarding it, formal structure, you have done projects, you have heard people, so you get some hang of this particular thing. But typically for entrepreneurship, what is important is either you are very passionate about that particular thing, that okay, this is a thing which I'm very passionate, I want to build it and I will build it no matter what. The other thing is that you are very skillful in that particular thing. Now, building a skill at an MBA level might be difficult to comprehend why, in what thing you're very good at it. Maybe after working for some few years or working through some startups, you are able to get what you are good at. What you are passionate about, that you can always figure out. It's not very easy. Some people have got you can say passion thrusted upon them. I've seen people whose mother was suffering from cancer. uh, the person who came in Shark Tank, he came second to us in the What in India challenge, Livofy. So he got that mission, which was not, he didn't ask for it, but his mother got cancer, started working on it. So some of these things are thrusted upon you. You didn't ask for it. Some of these things you are passionate about because you are doing it. And if you are passionate about it, then what happens is, even if you have got less skill set, since you are passionate about it, you love doing that particular thing, then possibility of you getting skill set in that particular things increases. So passion is compulsory. Skill sets, if you have passion and skills which are both married together, it's a perfect combination. But if you have passion but still you do not have the skill, but you are really passionate about it, you can build the skills, so the possibility becomes higher. The other thing is, there are some things which are, in my case for example, I'm very passionate about motivation, spreading the word of hope and optimism, focusing on tier 2 tier 3 cities, because these are critical in nature. I feel that they do not get the right set of exposure. By the time they get the exposure, it is generally too late for them to succeed in that particular regard. So that is something which I'm passionate about it. I do it at free will and I feel good doing it. With respect to supply chain is something which I'm good at. So I know that I've got a very good skill set in supply chain, good network across stakeholders, understanding, analytical skill, and execution skill. So if I'm good at that particular skill thing, so I'll not say that I've intended to become a great supply chain professional or startup founder, which is there. That was not I intended to do. But over a period of time, I build the skill set. When I build the skill set, you see results. When you see results, you see the kind of optimization or impact you are making. When you see the impact that you are making over a period of time, you build the passion for it also. So it is the one thing that is required is either passion or you can say skill set. One thing is critical, which is there. best thing is that you have both of these things. Even if you have one, if you have passion, eventually with hard work you can get the skill sets in order to execute it. If you got skill set and you continue doing the right work, creating impact, eventually you build the passion for it. So this is what I perceive which is there. But eventually, apart from it, getting an MBA is something that is more gives you an overall overview of the things, puts you in a better place than probably a non-MBA, because you have to run an organization, and running an organization, multiple things are required. So it puts you in a better position.
Indeed, sir. Thank you for your lovely insights on this question. We have Vaishnavi. Vaishnavi, I made you unmute. So, आप please अपना मतलब unmute. I've given you the permission. Unmute करके please. Can you ask your query if you are in the chat? Vaishnavi, can you hear me? If you can hear me, then please ask your query. मैंने आपको permission दिया है unmute का. Sir, until Vaishnavi sets everything, if she is there in the chat, we have another question from Deepak. He said, like, how do you see the...
Yes, I lost you in between. Hello? Hello? Am I audible? Yes, I lost you in between.
Hello, sir. I am Ravi, the co-host. Okay, so until we give the access to the Vaishnavi, we have another questions from Deepak Kumar. That is, how do you see the recent trends of becoming social media influencer? What is the future of this area?
See, with respect to, I've got friends who are founder of Wild. Probably you see Shark Tank. They were part of the Your Story Tech 30 with us. And see, my whole submission is, so see, these are my personal opinion. Whatever you do, be good at it, rather great at it. And it needs to be meaningful. See, I've got a decent enough audience and I can put in a lot of content which will help me gain a lot of followers and a lot of views. I can easily do it. It is very easy for me. But I don't want to build a personal brand associated with that. So in case I don't want to build a personal brand, so I want to work on a specific niche, and this is where I want to excel. I want to be known for that thing. I don't want to be a generic person. I know a lot of people who put in a lot of generic content and they're getting traction also, but the kind of brand that I want to build doesn't associate with that. So what I'm saying is, with respect to social media influencer, if you're able to add great value, this is something that you enjoy doing, and you are able to create original content, create some innovation, then I think it is something which is good and it can help you over a period of time. But and in my personal opinion, a lot of this stuff is just you can say doing things for the heck of doing things. And even some of the biggest influencers, social media promoters, I see they are creating content because they have to create content and they have to put in something. They've got an audience, that's why they are getting some traction which is there. So I feel somewhere in the whole process, the essence and the meaning is getting lost. And I'm a firm believer that if the essence and the true value is not provided consistently, then someday or the other it will fall apart. So being influencer is good. You need to understand the challenge of creating relevant content, meaningful content, which adds value to your target audience, whatever is your target audience, consistently. Otherwise, a lot of people would come, they will be there for some time and then eventually will fade away. So, but it's a matter of choice. Just create valuable and meaningful content. That's the only feedback from my side in this regard.
Thank you, sir. Sorry I left in between. Maybe some network issues was there. I hope I'm audible. So
Yes,
Vaishnavi, I made you unmute. Can you please try to unmute yourself at your end, and if you can ask your question?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So my name is Vaishnavi. I'm pursuing MBA and I have done my graduation in BCom honors. I'm planning to pursue my MBA in human resource management, and as of now, I don't have any LinkedIn account. So can you please suggest me some courses or direction from where I can start pursuing some courses to give a edge to my LinkedIn profile and to begin my career with a more oriented manner?
So Vaishnavi, if you've gone through the session, the whole session was more towards giving the direction towards it. What you can do is you can, for starters, probably you can refer my profile, not with respect to HR, but the kind of content that is required. Understanding the sections which are required, the content which is required that you need to build upon. For example, what are the certifications that I need? What are the live projects that I need? What are the skill sets that I need to put in? So try to, first of all, create a structure for that particular. What are the elements? Basically, more with respect to understanding the elements. The second thing I mentioned about mirroring idols. Now you need to figure out, try to find out the most active, or you can say good HR, you can say profiles which are there on LinkedIn, the people who are active or top, you can say speakers with respect to the HR domain. Now try to mirror them, see what is the kind of content they are putting, see how they are put in their profile. So you need to do some kind of research in order to figure out who are the right set of people, follow them, try to copy them. I mean, in the sense, not just blatantly copy them, but try to copy their style, the kind of content they put in, learn from them, mirror them, and eventually you will get a hang of it. Over a period of time, you'll understand why they do it. You start understanding the context behind it and the reason they do it, because they have done it for ages and they understand what works, what doesn't work. So you're able to learn from them. So you can refer my profile for the elements part of it, what all is required. You can research for people who are top voices in the HR human resource segment, and you can then probably try to mirror them for a particular 2-3 months, 4 months. You start to get a hang of it. But being an HR, you need to be there on LinkedIn. Yeah, that is being, if you want to pursue MBA in HR, you're pursuing MBA in HR. That is one of the you can say most prominent areas by virtue of which you are able to find the right set of talent. You're able to put job posting. You're able to get reference checks. You're able to get internships. There's a lot of other stuff. So I think not being on LinkedIn is a big no-no for any HR professional, rather any professional, but specifically HR professional.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome, Vaishnavi.
I hope, Vaishnavi, your query is answered. So, sir, coming on to the very end of the session, but it's not the last, but even not the least. So we can say that all the insights which have been accumulated from today's discussion, be it importance of personal brand or a successful professional LinkedIn profile, which can drives the pathways towards grabbing various interesting projects and internships in the growing career field. And parallelly, even the insights on professional emailing were truly we are very highly grateful to you for all these insights, because I think this has proved to be testimonial for all the students and it will help them in achieving the professional career success. So therefore, we are highly grateful to you for joining this today's session, be it the student.
Yes, I think we lost you.
Okay. I think there is an internet issue from your side.
No worries.
So thank you. Yes, sir. I am Ravi Shankar Singh, the co-host. Okay, sir. So hello, guys and students. So our speaker, Mr. Arun Pandit, has generously shared his expertise, which will add great value to your personal branding. The learning doesn't stop here. We will be back soon with our informative sessions. Till then, I request and advise all of you to follow us on the mentioned social media handles. Thank you, everyone. We are ending the session here. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great day ahead. Bye.
Thank you for joining the session, sir. Sorry, I guess I still lost in between. No worries. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you everyone for joining this today's session. Please follow our social media handles, be it WhatsApp channel and Instagram, LinkedIn, and the YouTube channel as well. We will upload our session recordings, this today's session and the past session which we had on resume building, very soon on our YouTube channels. So please stay in touch with us regarding all the updates, whatever we have, the interesting initiatives we are planning for you. Thank you so much for finding your precious time out for this session. Have a great time ahead. Thank you.